Welcome back to Stooge Club. I am your host, the Stooge, and we have the beginning, episode 1 of my vinyl collection. In the 2 years I've been here in the UK, I've amassed a fair amount of vinyl. It's not as much as I have back in my collection in Australia, which will eventually arrive here at some point, fingers crossed, but it's pretty significant. So let's start going through it. Have a look at what we got. We've got some secondhand ones that we picked up from charity shops. We've got new stuff. We've got bootleg records. We've got all sorts of stuff. So let's kick it off. And I thought if you're going to kick it off with anyone, you're going to kick it off with some David Bowie. Aladdin saying, absolutely great album. Great gatefold as well of Bowie, and I have no idea what body paint. I assume. Just really nice artwork on this album. Alright, we'll pop that there next. The Deepest Purple, the very best of Deep Purple, and no, I did not pay £5 for it. I think I paid £1 for it. Next, we have one from my wife's collection here, Madonna, self-titled album, the 180 gram re-release. It's really good quality. And we're 80s childs, so we do like a bit of Madonna. Nirvana, from the Muddy Banks of the Wishkar. Haven't opened this one yet, so you're going to see a few in this episode that I haven't opened because obviously the newer ones are at the front of my collection. We have Blink 182. What's the name of this album again? Enema of the State. The Back in Black 180 gram release. What collection would be complete without Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction? I mean, when the first track is Welcome to the Jungle, you're listening to that album. Haven't listened to this yet. This is the 2 record or double disc version of Pearl Jam, Lightning Bolt, the new album. No idea if it's good or not, but I mean, it's Pearl Jam. It can't be bad. And this is the die-cut cover 2-disc gatefold version. This was a great pickup. Diana Ross and the Supremes. How simple records used to be back in the day. Yes, I have a very, very eclectic taste. This is another great album. If you don't know this film, check it out. It is quite an interesting film, and the actual making of the film is even more interesting. But this is the Cotton Club. So this has a bunch of jazz artists on it. Oh, is this a... Yes, first bootleg we're having a look at. Smashing Pumpkins, live at the Rivera Theatre in Chicago, October 23rd, 1995. That is correct. This is early Smashing Pumpkins. Look at them. Look at them. They're children still. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of bootlegs. Oh, speaking of, another one straight off the bat here. We've got Green Day live in New Jersey, 1992. So this will all be stuff off 1040 and 1048 and Kaplunk. I'm a huge Nirvana fan, so you're going to see many, many, many Nirvana bootlegs in here. So Nirvana, Happy Halloween, live at the Paramount Theatre, Seattle, October 33rd, 1991. So, yeah, great. That's awesome. How can you not just have to have this album in your collection as well? Pearl Jam 10. I mean, just an absolute masterpiece. Okay, another secondhand record. This is, I think I maybe paid like £1 or 50p for this. Not in the best condition, but who cares? It's Village People Go West, including In the Navy, folks. What's on this? In the Navy, Go West, Citizens of the World, I Want to Shake Your Hand, Getaway Holiday, and Manhattan Woman. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm a fan of compilations. I don't care what anybody says. Compilations are like putting on the radio and just having to play cool stuff. So 40 solid gold hits. And apparently this is limited edition. Yeah, sure. Let's see, what do we got on here? Jerry Lee Lewis, Elton John, T-Rex, The Searchers, The Kinks, Status Quo, The Platters. Like, this is, again, it's like putting on the radio back in the day where they played good music. These are my latest pickups, actually. These I only picked up last week, and I haven't actually played any of them yet. Run DMC, Tougher Than Leather. This is one of my childhood albums. And yes, Run DMC are the all-time greats. I have absolutely no idea what this is. I've never heard of it before, but I saw it and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fairly cool. So this is the limited edition double LP gatefold version of The Many Faces of Metallica. It's not a Metallica album though. What it is people covering Metallica. So that's really interesting. Let's see if we can get that a bit closer so you can have a look. Like Whiskey in a Jar by Eric Bell from Thin Lizzy. Like, okay, I really need to check that out. Again, another, if you existed in the 1990s and you don't have this album in your collection, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. And this has actually got like an interesting texture to it. I've got to open that up and feel it. It's like almost newsprinty type texture. All right, we've got 2 left. Actually, I'll leave that one till last. So another one that it's a classic album, and you may or may not know, but it has come out in the past few years that this album was written by Kurt Cobain. And it's really not surprising when you hear the album. And the next album was written by Billy Corgan. And when you listen to the album, it's really not surprising. And that's Hole. Live Through This. All right, and the final one for episode 1, our opening episode, digging into my vinyl collection. And trust me, folks, it's going to get weird and wonderful at some points because I raid charity shops and I listen to just about everything. So it's going to get weird and exciting. This was more a contained episode because the stuff I've been picking up recently is more normal-ish. But we've got, for our last one, Green Day, Insomniac. Absolutely classic album that if you grew up in the 90s, you probably heard a billion times, but yet it's still worth listening to. Let me just slightly move that light. There we go. Look at the artwork on that. Even just the artwork on that cover is spectacular. Well, that's it, folks. That is episode 1 of my vinyl collection. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There'll be many, many more episodes of this coming. This hasn't even scratched the surface yet. Let me know what you've been picking up recently. I always love to know what other people are listening to. It's a great way of finding new music or remembering stuff like, oh yeah, that album. I haven't listened to that in forever. I should pick that up. So thanks again for watching. I am the Stooge, and don't forget, adventure, excitement. Stooge craves not these things. Welcome to the Stooge Revolution.